How are you, Cody? How was your Thanksgiving?
I'm good. Thanksgiving was good. I didn't have any family visiting or anything. I didn't go anywhere.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
I just got to sit around and play video games for like 6 to 8 hours, 3 days straight. It was great.
Honestly, that doesn't. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like it would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a great time. How was your Thanksgiving? Or do you not want to talk about it? Up to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was, I would say, equal parts, what is a synonym for good? It was,
Decent.
I was glad that I went home and I saw everyone and I hung out with my family, so I was equally glad that I went and also stressed out the entire time, so...
I get that.
But yeah,
Relatable.
you know, it's family. My sister's boyfriend expressed interest in the podcast because I brought up Baba Yaga, and he knew who Baba Yaga was. God, I love him, David, so good. But yeah, so maybe I'll have him get on Patreon, and then I will give him my blessing or whatever straight people need. But. Anyways, yeah, so it was good. I rekindled my love of Sims Medieval, which was exciting. It's basically just like Sims, but set in the medieval period, obviously, and you have fun little quests, and it's great. And I made it the gayest queen ever. Her name is Lilith. And
well, that's yep.
Yeah, and I think what did it? Wait, yeah. Oh, Susan. And my sister and her boyfriend helped me name the kingdom Saphopolis after Sappho. So it's this game is just gonna be like a kingdom of lesbians. I'm really excited, but yeah. Other than that. I applied for a job at UW yesterday.
Really?
And that was exciting. I have like 6 more jobs to apply to for UW. It's good. Do you want to tell me a true crime story?
Oh, yeah. Let's first introduce the podcast, because last time I didn't do that. Actually, the last couple of times I've been listening to it and like, we just jump into it. We don't even...
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing that's happening.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that we're supposed to be doing that. Okay.
Well, I'm going to do it.
Okay, do it, Cody.
I want to get in the habit of doing it.
You go ahead.
Welcome to the Horror Corner. That's the show. That's the thing. I'm Cody.
I'm Elle.
And we are here to tell you true crime and lore things.
Yeah. Paranormal, lore, urban legends, murder.
It's going to be great.
It's all in there. It's a wraparound package.
Oh, yeah.
It's a package that gives you a big old hug.
Lopsided bow. A lopsided bow.
Yeah. A lopsided blow, blood stains, I don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We do our best.
We do our best. Yep. Okay.
I think we're good. I'm going to take a fat sip of water.
A fat sip of water. I don't know why my mind went there, but I was like, I thought you were going to say, I'm going to take a fat poop or something. I was like, what the hell? Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right, tell me murder story.
I took my fat sip of water because my throat is kind of giving out on me. I was basically screaming last night at a basketball game.
Oh my god.
And then I decided to do my notes after the basketball game. And I ended up watching American History X after a particularly frustrating conversation with someone that I don't want to go into.
Okay.
And then I ended up watching a documentary that basically tried to convince me that astrology is like a complete bag of garbage. which
Oh,
it
boy.
is,
Yeah.
but that doesn't stop me from bleeding.
Yeah.
So that is why I went to sleep at 4 a.m.
Oh my,
and literally
dude,
woke up.
you can't keep doing this.
I got really sucked into this fake science
You
that
mean
is the
pseudoscience?
stars telling me my horoscope is wrong.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, okay, that's where I'm at. We're gonna jump in our time machine now.
Is this a segue into telling me that you're going to be covering the Zodiac Killer?
Unfortunately, no.
No. Okay. Fuck.
That would have been a great segue. Maybe I'll save that for later.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a segue into me telling you that I was gonna do a different story, but then I realized that the stars weren't aligned, and this man had never done any crime that we know of. So I had to restart my notes this morning, and you know what time I woke up when we were supposed to do this. So
yeah.
I've had minimal time to prep for this episode.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Okay, wait, so is the story at all related to the one that you made last night, or did you just redo it?
No, it's not related at all. I was just like, let me pull up my list of stories that I have for potential episodes.
Uh-huh.
Let me wave my finger and point at one.
Okay, I gotcha.
Done.
Yeah. I actually did a kind of similar thing, but go on. Go ahead. Okay. Where are we going today?
We are going to 2002.
Ooh, recent. All right.
Yes, very recent. And I don't want to say I'd be disappointed if you don't know the story, but okay. I'd be a little bit disappointed because it's a very popular case.
Okay.
And the person involved went on to do a lot of good things.
Okay.
I should say the victim went on to do a lot of good things.
All right.
So,
well, I don't know yet, so keep going.
Yes. Here we go. In the early morning of June 5th, 2002, a man broke into the home of Edward and Lois Smart in Federal Heights of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Is this about Elizabeth Smart?
It is.
Ha ha!
So this man prowled through the house, coming to the shared bedroom of their daughters, Edward and Lois's daughters, 9-year-old Mary Catherine and 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart.
Yep. I know this.
Yeah. So the man abducted Elizabeth by knife point and held her in captivity for almost a year.
Gross.
And a lot of my things that I've heard about her, it seems like she was abducted and held captive for more than that.
Uh-huh.
But it was really just 9 months, and that I don't know, that was surprising to me when I read it.
Yeah.
And basically the next day on June 6, 2002, her parents went on TV and asked the kidnapper to bring her back.
Mm-hmm.
A region-wide search began, which involved about 2,000 volunteers a day, plus dogs and planes.
Wow.
And they distributed flyers on the streets and spread information online. But they concluded that community-led search efforts were not going to be enough, so they called the police.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so they didn't call the police up until then?
Well, they probably called the police, but, the police are oh, people run away all the time, especially because she's, 14 years old, right? 14-year-olds run away.
Police need to stop doing that, I swear to God.
It's just one of those things, you have to wait a certain period of time before you can involve, or, the police can get involved, because they're people just come back. Kids usually come back.
Yeah, but then what happens when they don't? Ugh, I don't like it. I mean, okay, the ratio of, true crime stories where we hear that the police had to wait, and they said that it was runaway, versus, the amount of times where it is actually runaways, I don't really know, but I'm always just, critical error, it seems like. But anyways, okay.
Well, it's the law.
And we love the law in this podcast.
Indeed.
Yeah, okay.
The police questioned hundreds of potential suspects and succeeded in returning a lot of criminals back to prison.
Okay.
But they had little success in Elizabeth's case. There wasn't much physical evidence. They only had what her sister observed the night on the night of the kidnapping, when Mary Catherine, her sister, woke up to the event but pretended to be asleep because she thought the man had a gun.
Oh, baby.
Mary Catherine's other observations included that the man was white, about the height of her brother, who was 5'8" / 172 centimeters. He was about 30 to 40 years old and wore light colored clothing and a golf hat. He had dark hair on his head, arms, and back of hands, and she heard the man tell Elizabeth that you better be quiet and I won't hurt you, after she stubbed her toe and said, ow, probably. She also heard Elizabeth ask, why are you doing this? But she couldn't quite catch his answer. She never saw his face clearly, but she thought his voice sounded familiar. Mary Catherine alerted her parents to the abduction at around 4 a.m. The same morning, and she tried to go tell them earlier, but she heard Elizabeth and the kidnapper still kind of roaming around the house, and she was barely able to stay out of sight, and basically like went back to bed to be like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, they're still in the house, so she waited at least 2 hours.
Oh my god!
Before she thought it was safe enough to like go tell her parents.
Can you imagine? I
cannot, because also they didn't believe her. They thought she was dreaming. They're like, "You're fine.
God.
Like, go back to bed." But then they discovered that a screen window had been cut with a knife. And they're like, "Oh shit."
Oh my god. Ugh.
Yeah.
How many issues that kid has got to have? I mean, of course, like Elizabeth herself, but also like Mary Kate having to
Mary Catherine
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh god. Yeah. Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say things kind of turn around for her later on as well.
Yeah.
It works out.
Okay.
But currently, the family continues to spread Elizabeth's story in the media in hopes that she'll be found or she'll come back or whatever. The man who kidnapped Elizabeth took her to an encampment outside Salt Lake City. Sorry, this is jumping into what actually happened to Elizabeth.
Okay.
Let me figure this out. Okay. Yeah. The man who kidnapped Elizabeth took her to an encampment outside of Salt Lake City where he met up with his wife. And this is what Elizabeth has reported when she was found.
Yeah.
This man's name was Brian David Mitchell.
Okay.
Brian David Mitchell to be an angel or a Davidic king who would eventually go on to kill the Antichrist.
Oh,
he wanted to kidnap several virgins to become his brides who would come with him to kill the Antichrist.
Ew.
He came from a Latter-day Saints family in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, yeah.
When he was 16, he was sent to juvenile detention for exposing himself to a child. And then he married at 19 and had 2 kids before divorcing that wife.
Oh, my God.
He fled to New Hampshire with said children after losing a custody battle, where he joined a commune.
So he, like, kidnapped his own kids then, basically?
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Shortly after returning to Salt Lake City and having a history of alcohol and drug abuse, he married again to a woman who had 3 kids from a previous marriage.
Yeah.
This woman, whose name is Debbie, said he was abusive during their marriage, which ended in 1984. And the day they got divorced, he married again to Wanda Barzee.
I'm sorry, so the day of?
The day they got divorced, the day that it was official, that it was finalized, he was like, we're getting married.
So, like, he didn't even leave the courthouse, he just, like, went there and then... Oh my
Probably
God.
not. He probably brought Wanda to the court and was like, all right, we're getting divorced. We're going to get married today. Let's just not waste any time. I don't want to deal with, like, going home, kind of working out, like, is this what we want? I just want to get married now. He was probably also cheating on Debbie. I feel like that's kind of something he would do.
Yeah.
But also...
Why would you want to go home and, like, figure things out and make sure you really want to do it, you know? That's just... that would just be silly.
Yeah, I mean, like, I also suspect, since they're in the Church of Latter-day Saints, that maybe he was going to try to make it so that he was married to both of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then Debbie was like, I don't think so. So then when they got divorced, what's her name? Wanda was already there.
Oh, my God.
Like, maybe he brought Wanda there to be like, hey, Debbie, this is Wanda.
Hey, Debbie, I'm doing okay since our divorce 5 minutes ago. You don't need to worry about me.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So, either way, they got divorced. He got married to someone else.
Oh,
and
my God.
this is the wife. This is the wife. They both became super involved in Latter-day Saints activities. And, yeah, his religious views became more and more extreme, and he started to present himself like Jesus. With the white robes and the beard and all of that. Okay,
there are a weird amount of parallels that are gonna line up between your story and my story. Okay.
Fascinating.
Anyways, go on.
Interested. Okay. So, when Brian David Mitchell brought Elizabeth to the encampment, he had his wife, Wanda, wash her feet. And when Elizabeth was like, what is going on? Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
She told Elizabeth to change out of her pajamas into, like, this white robe outfit thing. And said that if she didn't do it, Wanda would have Brian come rip her pajamas off.
Oh my God. That's sick.
Yeah. And this is where Elizabeth found out about his Antichrist plan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. I can read the quote from Wikipedia if you're interested. If you're not,
yes.
We can move on.
I am interested.
Okay. We are going to start with, when I refused, she said if I didn't, to change it into the robe, she would have Brian Mitchell come rip my pajamas off. I put the robe on. He came and performed a ceremony, which was to marry me to him. After that, he proceeded to rape me.
No!
And he told Elizabeth that since he was the Davidic king who would slay the Antichrist, he would emerge in 7 years, be stoned by a mob, lie dead in the streets for 3 days, then rise up and kill the Antichrist.
Okay. Well,
there's just a lot of things going on.
There is a lot going on there.
He's got a plan.
Wow.
I don't know if it's a good plan.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good plan.
No. Yeah, I don't think it turns out well for him anyways, so.
Not really.
At least there's that, I guess. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, Elizabeth, during her time in this encampment, was shackled to a tree with metal cable inside of a tent where she was held captive and forced to take a new name. She chose Esther. Apparently there's significance of the name in the Old Testament.
Oh, yeah.
She was the Jewish queen of a Persian king
whose
name I can't pronounce. Maybe you have a little bit more information on that, because
I do,
don't know who Esther is.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name. But yeah, basically the Book of Esther is read on... Wait, shit, is it on Purim or Passover? I think it's Purim. But the book is basically about Esther, who was a Jewish woman, queen, or someone high up, and she goes into the kingdom to marry a king the king is like committing genocide against her people, and basically she reveals that she's Jewish, and then he stops.
Okay.
Or also, okay, there's like a lot of other stuff like
right. I mean, that's
I mean, basically it's like centered around a genocide of her people, but she steps in and saves everyone with her womanly wiles, I guess, by like manipulating the men or using sexism against them.
I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What a hero.
I know, Esther. Wow, yeah. I was really actually thinking of taking Esther as my Hebrew name when I convert, but yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Well, cool.
Love relevance. Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear. What else did she say about Mitchell? She said that Mitchell repeatedly raped her, forced her to read pornographic magazines, and regularly threatened to kill her. He also forced her to drink alcohol, take drugs to lower her tolerance to them. So, like, if he ever had to drug her in the future, or like if anyone ever drugged her in the future, I don't know, just lowered her tolerance. That's to
bizarre.
Really fuck her up.
Yeah.
He also starved her, and when he did feed her, he didn't feed her like good stuff. Just fed her whatever.
Yeah.
Elizabeth later called Barzee the most, quote, the most evil woman, end quote, she had ever met.
Oh my god.
In September of 2002, her captors took her again and relocated to San Diego County in California.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of moved around in the county. They didn't stay in one camp. And they didn't move during the day.
Mm-hmm.
They moved at night. So, like, they were trying to hide, right?
Yeah.
Sort of. I don't really know what that strategy was all about, because they were also bringing her out in public.
Yeah.
And I think this is, like, the most bizarre part of this case. Like, they basically put her in various disguises.
Yeah.
Like, one was, like, she had a veil on and, like, or a headscarf, and, yeah, it was just, like, they had various methods of hiding her identity. And, like, when people asked to, like, see her face or their faces, like, they'd say, cannot remove scarf or veil for religious reasons. Yeah,
I remember that part. And, like, didn't she actually see her family at one point, or am I making that up?
I mean, that's what I also heard too, but, like, I can't find that information.
Yeah.
It's just, like,
I mean, it's, like, been retold so many times that it's probably hard to distinguish.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was one woman who did recognize them at the Salt Lake City Public Library.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't, like, verify her their identities to the police, because they were never able to, like, see their faces due to religious reasons.
Yeah.
So, also when they were questioned by the police, when the person at the library called the police, Brian was like, "Oh, my wives cannot speak because my religion."
Wait, so, okay, I'm confused. So, like, what is the law that, like, makes it okay that the police had to, like, just take him by his word that was religious? Like, in a homicide, or I guess not a homicide because no one's dead, but, like, in a missing child investigation, wouldn't religious freedom, like, that kind of, I don't know, take a backseat, or is...
I mean, I think the biggest issue here is that they don't have any, like, solid evidence. This is, again, just, like, the patron at the library only called the police because she saw Elizabeth's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like, that was the identifying factor. So, like, it wasn't any hard evidence. So the police didn't, like, I don't think they had any authority to, like, say, hey, you know, religion, but, like, also the law.
Yeah.
Like, it just wasn't, they didn't have enough authority on it.
Yeah, I guess.
Elizabeth later said that, quote, I felt like hope was walking out the door. I was mad at myself that I didn't say anything, mad at myself for not taking the chance. So close. I felt terrible that the detective hadn't pushed harder. He just walked away. So, I mean, she was also 14.
Yeah.
It's so hard at that age to, like, if you're not super, like, angsty and defiant, like, you're probably the opposite, I feel like. You don't feel like you can do anything, especially in this position where she's already been abused and, like, dragged around the country.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you have any sort of power, even when there's, like, police in front of you, talking to you, asking you the questions that need to be asked. Like,
yeah, like, it's not...
It sucks.
Yeah, like, it's not her fault at all that she... Yeah, no. Like, she could not have spoken up and been safe in that situation.
It just must have been so frustrating.
I know, yeah.
Like, in the moment and, like, later on, she's just like, I was so close.
Yeah.
So 2 months later, there's only 1 month between September and October. In October of 2002, Mary Catherine remembers hearing the voice of the kidnapper that night and suddenly realizes that it's the voice of someone she knows. It's the voice of an unemployed man that the family had hired to, like, do yard work for them.
Yeah.
Who they called Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Emmanuel didn't work for them for very long, so Mary Catherine at the time, I think, was still 9. So, like, the police were kind of like, a 9-year-old says she remembers Emmanuel's voice, comparing it to the abductor's voice, who neither of which you heard talk for very long, probably, especially since Emmanuel had worked for them a while ago. But we'll have her do a sketch artist rendition anyways. Like, well, we'll see what we can do. So the family actually had the sketch artist come in and draw Emmanuel's face from Mary Catherine's descriptions. And in February, the drawing was released to the media. So unfortunately, Brian David Mitchell's family, his many, many family members, his 2 wives, his 5 other kids.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those people.
Yeah.
Recognized Brian David Mitchell on Larry King Live and America's Most Wanted and, like, literally every other show that it was showed on, and gave police contemporary photos of him.
Good. Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, fortunately, in March of 2003, so it took a hot second, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Brian David Mitchell was spotted with 2 women in Sandy, Utah.
Sandy, Utah.
By 2 people who had seen. Yeah, they went back to Utah.
Okay.
Sandy's a city in Utah.
Okay.
Not like a sandy beach in Utah.
Yeah.
By 2 women who had seen his picture. And as you can probably guess, the 2 women that he was with were Elizabeth Smart and Wanda. Elizabeth was disguised in a gray wig, sunglasses, and a veil. And then I don't know if Wanda was disguised in any way, probably just wearing her usual garb. When they brought, or when the police were called and came to Sandy, Utah, wherever they were in Sandy, Utah. I keep thinking of a sandy beach now. Thank you.
Sorry,
brain.
No, I like thought of, like, San Diego.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah, just shortened San Diego to Sandy.
Yeah.
It took her to Sandy.
God. Okay.
So the police showed up and they recognized Elizabeth, and shortly after, Brian and Wanda were arrested. In the aftermath of her rescue, the state of Utah change the Rachel alert to the nationwide Amber alert, which is for child abductions.
Yeah.
Which you've probably heard the annoying noise that it makes on your phone.
Yes.
I also recently learned what a silver alert is. Just a quick story.
Oh.
I was in the car with my family the other day. Like when they were visiting, and we were in the car, and there was like a sign that was like, oh, silver alert, look for these cars and this whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh man, what's a silver alert? My mom was like, oh, I don't know. So we're kind of sitting there theorizing. My dad's in the back seat, like doing whatever he's doing, like on his phone.
Yeah.
And he usually likes to sit in the back and just let me and my mom talk. So me and my mom were like theorizing, like, is it just like the color of the car? Like, is it a car alert? Like someone's stolen a car and like silver, the color of metal. And my dad just kind of like is back there and he's like, maybe it's for old people.
Oh my God.
And we're like, it can't be. So what do? We Google it. And it's for elderly people who are thought to have like dementia, or like you're worried that they're gonna get lost or something.
Oh my God.
It's literally for old people. The silver alert.
Oh God. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That is, yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense why they would have one like that.
Yeah, I just never thought about it because I've always heard about the Amber Alert, but I didn't realize that there's other alerts for other things.
Yeah. Also, other, like, very specific colors, too.
Yeah.
Like silver and amber. Yeah. Although Amber is named after an actual child, so maybe not, but.
Right, that's why I was like, it's probably, like, the color of metal. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But just a little fun fact for you. Silver Alert is for elderly people who might be, like, kind of not mentally... sound
not
or whatever, like driving around.
Yeah, not able to drive and get places. Yes.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's like limited to driving. It just said like if they've gone missing, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Amber Alert had already been like a nationwide system that they were using, but Utah wasn't on it. They had a different system that they were using called Rachel Alert. Mm-hmm. That they've been using for the past 2 years, but they went back to the Amber Alert. I don't know if they were using anything before that. Never mind. They started using the Amber Alert after this.
Yeah, I've discovered some people on Facebook, like this group of people who are angry about Amber Alerts, like disrupting their work. And that they want to like turn off the Amber Alerts, and that they're stupid and unhelpful and disruptive, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, people are complaining about a technology that, like, saves children's lives from
I know,
kidnappers.
I kind of feel bad that I have mine off, but I literally have a panic attack every time I hear the noise.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I have mine off, and I feel really bad about it. But, like, at the same time,
I mean...
I just need to get through my day
It's
without...
also... I feel like that's different than just saying, like, oh, it's so annoying, it, like, interrupts me at work.
Yeah, that's a shit excuse.
Versus, like, oh, it, like, wakes me up at night. Why would I need to know if it's not even in my state or something? And it's like, well, because...
I mean, there's...
vehicles travel.
Crossing state lines, friend.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know.
This is clearly a case in which he crossed state lines. It's not that uncommon.
Yeah.
That's usually the first thing they do. They leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Yeah. So, let's talk about mental competence.
All right.
The court requested that he takes a competency evaluation based on his like wild religious prophet claims.
Yeah.
And wanted to kill the Antichrist. And while he waited for this evaluation, he was at the Utah State Hospital. Dr. Stephen Golding, who was hired by his defense team, Brian's defense team, was able to distinguish between zealous belief and delusion, and found that, or decided, I don't know if this was like, Golding decided, thought that Brian's belief transcended any sort of grounded ideology.
Mm-hmm.
Or thoughts or facts or whatever. Like,
yeah.
He was just like, he's delusional.
Yeah.
Golding believed that Brian was not competent to stand trial because of this, but the court believed that Mitchell was and superseded his opinion in 2004.
Okay.
Plea negotiations started shortly after that, and the defendant, Brian, was willing to plead guilty to kidnapping and burglary for a 10 to 15 year sentence on the condition that Elizabeth would not testify.
Wait. Okay. Wait. So they're asking her not to testify against him?
Brian was like, I will plead guilty to kidnapping and burglary if Elizabeth does not testify.
Oh, so he himself is asking her not to testify.
I mean, it says the defendant, whether that's
God.
his lawyer asking this and he's disagreeing, or if this is him specifically telling his lawyer, or his lawyer asking him and him agreeing, I don't know.
What an entitled little bitch, I swear to God. Oh my God.
Either way, on October 15th, 2004, plea negotiations were still going on. They can't catch a break.
Who can't?
Brian.
Okay.
The defense.
Okay, good. I'm like, please tell me that Elizabeth can catch a break. Oh no.
Because essentially they're trying to get less time / no time, right?
Oh my God. No,
on the basis
no time?
of mental incompetence.
Yeah.
Right. They're just trying to prove that he's not competent and he should go to a hospital instead of prison.
Yeah.
Dr. Jennifer Scheme, a psychologist who initially stated that Mitchell was competent, interviewed him again per the defense's request in February 2005. Mm-hmm. After this interview, Brian's own attorney, filed a statement saying that Brian was no longer competent to stand trial.
Okay.
So it's just like this flip-flop between saying that he's able to stand trial, not able to stand trial, trying to get him less time because he's incompetent to stand trial. Like,
yeah,
it's just this whole thing. And the longer it went on, the longer, like, I think it started to wear on Brian, and he started to act out in court.
Yeah.
Even though when he was in jail where he's being held during this process, the jail staff didn't observe any sort of, like, acting out in jail.
Mm-hmm. So he was, like, trying to act as if he was...
Yeah, he's, like, putting on a front in court.
Okay.
Which I don't think helped his case in any way.
Got it.
Yeah, so in the end, the judge decided that Brian's behavior reflected psychosis, and he was sent to the Utah State Hospital on August 11, 2005, which is the day Hurricane Katrina started?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
Wait, yeah, August
I just
20...
realized.
Was it 29th or 25th?
The 23rd.
Okay. So...
Okay, it's close.
Yeah.
It's close. That's all that matters.
Damn, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I did a whole, like, project on it a really long time ago, but...
Yeah.
Anyways. Mm-hmm. So, he was sent there, and he stayed there until 2008. And while he was there...
Oh, my God.
The staff did not experience Brian as being paranoid in a pathological sense. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that means he could still be paranoid in a delusional sense.
Yeah. But, okay.
Yeah. So, as for Wanda, she was sent to prison.
Okay, wait, okay. Okay, wait. He is the ringleader of the whole thing, and he's fine, and he's not sent to prison, but his accomplice is.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why that's, like, so much more fucked up to me, because obviously she should be in prison too, if prison is the system that we're working with. But okay, anyways, go ahead.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Okay. I'm stressed.
So Wanda was sent to prison after pleading guilty in her own trial, and was sentenced to concurrent terms of 15 years in state and federal prison.
Okay.
Because I think she was on trial for a couple of different things. It wasn't clear to me when I was reading.
Okay.
Really fast, trying to get this done.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me drink something.
Okay.
Sorry, my throat's really fucked.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry.
Just trying to do my best here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after she was sentenced in 2009? Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. Sorry, I just looked up the timeline. So here's the timeline. Brian and Wanda are charged with aggravated kidnapping, aggravated assault, or aggravated sexual assault and aggravated burglary in March of 2003. However, their trials did not go forward until 2009.
Oh my god. So all that time, Elizabeth and the family is just sitting. Yeah. Okay.
Partially in part because of Brian's flip-flopping mental competency, apparently. Yeah. And partially because they were like, we kind of want to get more of the story and, like, have time to, like, question everything that's going on and, like, get Elizabeth kind of back on her feet before we, like, completely assault her with court. In November of 2009, Wanda was sentenced to 15 years for her role in the kidnapping. So she was definitely sent to prison, and Brian was not sent to prison until later because, once again, he was ruled competent to stand trial.
Yeah.
On May 25th, 2011, which is 8 years after Elizabeth was found. Is that right?
Yeah. She was found in 2002. About.
Yeah. Brian David Mitchell was sentenced to 2 life sentences in federal prison for kidnapping Elizabeth Smart.
Oh, good. Okay. So we finally got there. Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
No. I meant and not you. Really it's just like the timeline. Like they finally got there. Not you're telling me the story.
Oh well, that's how I feel about it.
Okay.
It's such a wild runaround case, but just like I hate cases that like go back and forth. Not like I don't hate them because I don't want to do them. It's just like, why can't people just decide that these people are awful people and that they need to be in prison?
Yeah.
I just like mentally competent or not at this point, like it's hard to say whether or not mentally incompetent people should go to prison or hospital. But like if you decide if you're on the border of mentally competent or not, there are like mental health services in prison.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the best place for them. And maybe don't take 8 years to figure that out.
Yeah, definitely don't take 8 years to figure it out.
There wasn't even a retrial or anything. It was like...
Yeah. So, like, where was he that whole time? All those 8 years, what was he... Where was he being held? Or...
He was in the hospital, the Utah State mental hospital.
Okay, yeah.
From 2005? What year was it? Yeah, 2005 to 2008.
Okay.
And then when he was declared competent to stand trial in 2008, around that time, they transferred the case to federal court. So kind of a retrial situation, but like it was just transferring of documents and basically starting over. It's a whole thing. Like, they took way too long to figure all this shit out. And meanwhile, Elizabeth's trying to recover. She's trying to like get her story out there and like, she's doing her best.
Yeah.
And just to like make her think about all of this, to like So she definitely testified in Wanda's hearing, calling her just the most awful names. Let me find it. Yeah, I mean, like, she called her the most evil woman. And when she went on the stand for Brian, at Brian's trial, she described Mitchell as, quote, smart, articulate, evil, wicked, manipulative, sneaky, slimy, selfish, greedy, not spiritual, not religious, not close to God.
Whoa.
There's a car alarm going on outside, and I'm sorry.
Oh. Again? Maybe that should be our, exit sequence or something. We can incorporate it into the show.
Yeah. I know. I was gonna get clips yesterday for a curtain of sorts, and I didn't.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's just this whole flip flopping, moving the case around. It's so stupid.
I know.
But the most important thing is that Elizabeth was found, and that she's safe, and that she's moving on to do great things.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's super into activism and pushing for children rights. Mm-hmm. She started the Elizabeth Smart Foundation, which supports internet crimes against children.
Love that.
Trying to stop internet crimes against children.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sounded like she was supporting internet crimes against children.
No.
But she's working to educate children about violence and sexual crimes. Mm-hmm. And working with people to fight against human trafficking.
Good. Nice.
Because at the time she was 14, so by the time he was sentenced to prison, it was 2010, I believe.
Yeah.
So she's how old in 2010?
Huh? 2010.
How old was she in 2010 then? She was 14 in 2002. Math.
So
wow.
Then she was 24. No.
Jesus, what's 14
is so
plus
sad.
8? 12? She's 22. Just like Taylor Swift.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, she started all this even before that. When she was found, she was 15. So she went on and did interviews for Dateline. She did interviews for the Today Show. She went interviews to literally every single media outlet to get her story out there.
Yeah, I think I watched the 2020 episode on her that she did with ABC. Yeah, she is so hardcore. I gotta say.
I mean, she's talking about how to get sex offender registration going. She's talking about her experience. She's talking about how to educate people on things. Mm-hmm. She's really doing. She came out of this in the best possible way. Yeah. She even went on to serve as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, wow.
She stayed with the church. I'm so
Wait, so she's Mormon still?
I just looked up her adult life page on Wikipedia.
Oh my god. Damn.
And that's what she's doing. She's also married.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. She also has 3 children, all from after the abduction, so it's not like she was pregnant during the abduction.
Okay. Yeah.
She got married in 2002 and she had 3 kids. She's doing great.
Yeah. Powerful. I'm
so proud of her. I don't even know her. But
yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that it never goes away, and at the same time, the fact that she's doing all the things that she's doing is so fucking good, really hopeful for, I don't know, survivors, and yeah, it's just
absolutely,
it's super good. Yeah. Dang. It low-key it sucks though that women have to go through shit like that to be recognized as powerful. I don't know if that makes sense, but I
mean, there's definitely other ways that a woman can be powerful, but
yeah,
it just sucks that a lot of times this is often how people kind of gauge it.
Yeah, and how it's Yeah. But not to be like
it happens.
And not to.
Anyways,
yeah, we're good.
Yeah, that's the story of Elizabeth Smart. She's a strong, powerful woman, and she's
doing very good,
doing great,
helpful things.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah.
To like prevent this from happening
to other kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Great. I'm gonna go grab a snack.
Okay.
And some more water.
Okay.
And then we'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial break.
Commercial break. I'm gonna drink some coffee. Are you ready to start again?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm never doing that
again. Never.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I was trying to go all like mindful therapist, but then you took it in another direction, so thanks a lot, Cody.
I'm going to send you a text. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my.
There you go. That's my setup.
Oh my. You hang your hat on the little. That's the most dad thing ever.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because I'm running out of space on my, like, main hat area.
Okay. Cool. Now that I've had insight into your setting and asked all my questions, are you ready?
Yes.
You're supposed to say...
Oh. I'm not ready, apparently. Jesus fucking
God.
Christ.
Come on.
Oh, my God. All right, we're going to cut all of that.
Okay.
All right. Spook me.
You have to say it with more vigor.
More conviction? All right. Spook me.
Okay.
Spooky time.
Spooky time. Go. Okay, so last week I talked about changelings. And this week I'm going to talk about indigo children. Do you remember
right.
that
yes.
I mentioned that?
I know nothing about this.
Yeah. Kind of like you said that you did at first. I was like, I'm going to do an episode about real Dybbuk's. But then this morning I had an hour and a half to do my notes. I'm like, I can't do Dybbuk's in that amount of time. And do justice to it. So I'm just gonna do this quick little story that's really weird, and there's not a lot on it at all. But it turns out that there is a lot to say about indigo children. So let's get into it.
We gotta think of something else.
I know. Didn't we have something for a hot minute? What?
Part of my intro for today was going to be let's just be honest, this is an ATWD fan podcast.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah.
Also,
yeah. I mean, all of our, all of the transitions that I know of are, based back either to Sawbones or to ATWWD, so.
Right.
Anyways, okay, well, let's,
rebranding. A McElroy ATWD fan podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I will tell you, it will make more sense later, but I feel that this episode could also be on Sawbones because it is urban legend, but it's still so... Anyways, okay, we will discover it. So...
Alright, I'm ready.
Okay. Indigo Children is basically a new age concept that since the 60s there have been generations of special children. So indigo children are basically children that have supernatural abilities and are superhuman kind of.
Okay.
And it's alleged that since the 60s and the 70s these new waves of I don't know, really cool extra children have been coming into the world. And it's
Oh, I get it now.
Have you
Sorry, my voice
heard
just
of them before?
changed 3 octaves. I've never heard of them, but I get it now. Indigo children, hippies, got it.
Yeah, it's like totally new agey. And like the thing is that I thought when I first started researching that like I was going into like something like specifically in the realm of like folklore, but it feels like it doesn't even feel like it's at the age of like urban legend yet, because there's still so many people who like truly believe in this as science. Because it's not like changelings where it's like, oh yeah, this is a myth that was going on like for hundreds of thousands of years, and now we know that it's not real. Like I'm confident in saying that indigo children is not a real thing, and at the same time,
not real.
Like it's still such a present, like current phenomena that it's hard to say that's old enough to be classified as folklore, even though it entails like supernatural things. So, so the story might be like a little bit different, less typically like spooky than usual, and more like disturbing because of how modern it is right now, if that makes sense.
Great. Okay.
Okay, cool. So, this concept of indigo children started with a parapsychologist in synesthete, which is basically just someone who experiences synesthesia, which is like, synesthesia is like if you hear colors or like feel... Right. Yeah, like, you know. But, so by an alleged synesthete and psychic named Nancy Ann Tappe, or Tapp? I'm just going to say Tapp, when she wrote this book, Understanding Your Life Through Colors. And do you want to know how through is spelled? I've seen this book. Through is spelled Thru. Official title. Great. In 1986. Yep. Not to say like that typos or like grammatical errors like mean that you're stupid, but like this is a very
it's usually just obvious choice. Seriously.
Yeah. It's not like she's like made a mistake. I'm making fun of her choice to do that. Yeah. But
side note, did you ever read that book or see that book where it's about a cat named Mango?
No.
Hold on, keep talking. I'll bring it up later.
Okay. So the idea of indigo children started with Nancy Ann Tapp. And she came up with this idea of like life colors, which basically is like a life color is the color of the aura that follows people until they die. So like everyone's aura has a color, like mine could be red, yours could be green, but then these special children, their auras are indigo colored.
Okay.
Yeah, so like basically Nancy kicked off a bunch of new agey personality tests involving auras and colors and chakras, although she doesn't understand chakras because she's a white new agey lady. Well, wait, is she white? I'm just assuming that she's white, but I don't know. I
found the book.
Okay.
So it's a kid's book, but me and my sister read it when we were little. It's called A Mango Shaped Space by Wendy Mass, and it's about a girl who has synesthesia. Synesthesia. Yeah. I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean.
I do, yeah.
Same topic, same idea.
Yeah.
And her cat leaves like a mango shaped space when he dies.
The cat dies and it leaves a mango in the shape of its face? Is that what you said?
She is suspended for... Wow. Let me review the plot.
Okay.
As long as she can remember, Mia Winchell has seen words and numbers as colors, but has kept a secret from everybody. Mm-hmm. In the years since her grandfather's death, she has depended on comfort from Mango, a sickly cat she has persuaded her family to adopt. As she educates herself about her condition, Mia begins to explore the world of synthesis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And finds it increasingly difficult to keep up in school, maintain her friendships, and stay close to her family and little Mango. Mm-hmm. Then when Mango dies, Mia has to regain her colors and reconcile with her best friend.
Oh my... What the fuck? That sounds really sad.
It's a kid's book.
I mean,
but it's written by
wonderful.
Wendy Mass, who also wrote 11 Birthdays and Every Soul a Star, which I also read as a kid, and they're really good.
Okay. We should add a picture of that book to Instagram. Remind me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, so Tap, she like self-identified as having synesthesia. So we're not really sure if that's just something else that she made up or what.
Is there really like a way to quote unquote prove it, or
yeah, I mean, I guess not.
Is there like brain scans you can do, or
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Just like all my sources emphasized alleged synesthesia.
I see.
But like also, yeah, I guess it doesn't really. Yeah, like the fact that she is or isn't one doesn't, or anyways, even if she lies about some other things, doesn't mean that she's not what she self-identifies as. Okay.
Yeah.
I
was just curious.
You don't
have to have the answer to it. I'm just. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd be curious to know. Anyways, story time. So.
Yes.
So she claimed that that while she was discovering all this stuff about the colors of people's auras and what that means about each people or each person that she meets, she claims that during the 60s and the 70s she noticed that many of children had indigo auras, which then she decided meant that they are special children. And so this idea gained momentum in another book written by other people in 1998 called The Indigo Children. The New Kids Have Arrived. So, like...
What the fuck?
I know, yeah. So, it's like
the future has arrived by the Jonas Brothers. The new kids have arrived.
I know, yeah.
Wow.
So, it's like gaining momentum like... literally the year after I was born, which is wild. So the concept of indigo children was coined, and the general definition of one is a child or / now adult who possesses supernatural, psychic, and superhuman abilities. There was this one article of many like it called 13 Signs You Are an Indigo Child by Andy Murphy on Gia.com, and Murphy defines it as an upgraded blueprint of humanity, and like I think this was written in 2015 or something, and there are so many like tests like this, like how to know if you're an indigo child,
this is like some clickhole bullshit, like
yeah.
Find out if you're an indigo child. And
exactly.
It's like some 9-year-old in their bedroom making up random ass questions.
I know, yeah. But, yeah, so, indigo child, you are an upgraded blueprint of humanity. How would you like to be one of those?
Maybe if I was an upgraded blueprint of humanity, I wouldn't have so many issues with my life. I don't know. I'm clearly not an indigo child.
Yeah. I don't know. Yes. And so there's that definition, and then Wikipedia provides this list of traits based off of Nancy Ann's book. And the traits are as followed. Indigo children are empathetic, curious, and strong-willed, are often perceived by friends and family as being strange, possess a clear sense of self-definition and purpose, show a strong and innate subconscious spirituality from early childhood, which, however, does not necessarily imply a direct interest in spiritual or religious areas.
Hang on.
And they have a strong feeling of entitlement or deserving to be here.
Wow.
Other alleged traits include a high IQ, inherent intuitive ability, resistance to rigid, control-based paradigms of authority. So, if you kind of read between the lines, basically what these traits are describing is a child that does not behave by the standards that parents want it to behave by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did it pick up on the sneeze?
Yes.
Oh, well, fuck.
Well, shoot. Do you want me to read the list again? Do you think it? Or?
Well, you know what? Comedy.
Comedy.
We're really slacking on the comedy part here, so we're...
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone caught that because I just kept on reading. I didn't even say bless you. I'm sorry. I'm just focused on getting this weird ass.
I tried to warn you, but then I don't think you heard me, so I was like, well, fuck. I'm sneezing. It's gonna happen.
I know. I was just really caught up on all of the weird words and bullet for show a strong innate subconscious spirituality from early childhood, which, however, does not necessarily imply a direct interest in spiritual or religious areas.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that even mean? I don't know.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make excuses for why kids act out.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if we remember the changeling myth, it seems like it's specifically...
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'll talk later about how this is specifically describing a lot of kids with ADHD and ADD.
I was gonna say this describes me.
yeah, it describes pretty much.
Okay, new branding. Welcome to the Horror Corner, a true crime, paranormal lore, everything under the kitchen sink ADHD podcast.
Oh, God. So these are all the traits that you have if you're a special child, apparently.
Fantastic.
David Tormson's article, 10 Bizarre Aspects of the Indigo Child Movement, on Listverse, says that tap supposed indigo children to also be good with technology, relaxed, and casual. But she also described them as being high energy, blunt, and distracted in school settings.
ADHD.
Yeah.
ADHD.
So you can be both high energy and relaxed, and casual and blunt at the same time.
ADHD.
So, yeah. So basically, it just describes everyone.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And these kids also happen to be androgynous, and they love junk food.
Wow.
Yeah. It's surprising how much junk food is listed as a trait of indigo children. Which,
well, growing up, my parents fed into the whole thing was oh yeah, carbs are not good for concentration. When you have snacks, you can only have fruit and vegetables. Carbs, junk food isn't good for ADHD.
God.
Because generally, it's carbs and sugar.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't think that my parents definitely did not recognize that I had ADHD or any other issues, but...
Well, it was more they just noticed my mood changed if I had goldfish for snack after swim practice versus an apple.
Oh. Huh.
So, I mean, they also thought I had ADHD, but they failed to tell me until later. So that's another thing.
Oh my God. wild. I'm sorry.
I'm here now.
Okay.
I'm working through it.
We're all here now. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. According to allthat'sinteresting.com, TAP also says that every child who has murdered another person, child or an adult, has been an indigo. They are fearless. No, they are, quote, fearless and know who they are.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So child murderers are all indigos, and like in this article, it seems like she just kind of like shrugs it off, like, it's just a survival mechanism that they kill other people. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my god, so that's wild. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of an overview of what TAP says the indigo children are like. The movement took off with, like, various books written. I think there was a documentary. I saw, like, all of these YouTube videos about, like, insights into the bizarre world of indigo children, or, like, are you an indigo child? Etc. So, I don't know, there's, like, a lot of hype. But the first international conference on indigo children was in 2002 in Hawaii. And then they had another conference in Florida and Oregon. And I don't know if they're still continuing to this day. I'm guessing that they are.
I mean, it's kind of funny that, like, it's fitting.
Yeah.
Dare I say, that the first one was in the Rainbow State.
Oh my god. Wait, is Hawaii the Rainbow State?
I mean, all their license plates have rainbows on them.
Huh. I did not know that. Yeah, that's funny. Because there are actually rainbow children.
Deja vu. Oh my god. Yeah, Hawaii is known as the Rainbow State because of the many brilliant rainbows that often appear.
Oh. It's the gay state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Every time you describe something, you're like, oh, it's known as, like, androgynous with ADHD. I'm just like, literally, me. I'm an indigo child.
I know.
200%.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, so there was, the first conference.
So forget about rebranding the podcast as, like, by people with ADHD. Just be like, True Crime and Paranormal Podcast by Indigo.
By Indigo. Oh my god. I just, like, and the whole time I was writing my notes, I, like, felt the intense need to specify that I do not believe in this and am entirely against it. But it's, like, so... It's just so wild, but
it's fascinating.
Yeah. So in 1999, TAP categorized indigos into 4 basic types. So
fantastic.
More personality type stuff.
Boxes.
Okay, we love
constricting people.
Yeah,
my favorite thing.
So there is the humanist, and they are socially and physically active, effective communicators, and casual and fun. There are
not me.
Yeah. There are artists, dramatic, intuitive, and creative. Me. And I gotta say, Eminem was listed as an example of artists. Indigo child. Yeah, I was just, oh my god.
I can see that.
And I think Obama was listed as a humanist, indigo child.
I can see that.
Yeah. There's a conceptual indigo child who needs structure. They love technology, design, and mechanical processes. They deal poorly with interruptions. And then there are the catalysts, who are intense, curious, and it also said large-bodied, which I don't know what that means.
Not
like
me.
Large-bodied in spirit or physically? Because
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I'm not a giant. I'm just big boned.
You know. Yeah. Yeah. So catalysts create new paradigms, philosophies, religions, and they are prone to making strange noises, which is a quote from Listverse. And they're the smallest but most special category, is what I gathered. So it's basically like a ranking, which is, I don't like that. And then so out of indigo children, there comes crystal and rainbow children.
Oh my god.
I know. This will stop eventually. Some theorists think that indigos were followed by crystal children, who came from 1990 to 2010. They are said to have access to higher dimensions and have mass consciousness, as well as individual thought, with healing and clairvoyant powers.
Okay.
Yeah,
so those people. Got it.
So technically we would be crystal children.
Yeah.
Okay. Just I want to clarify that. Yeah, and
wait, when did you say indigo children was versus crystal children?
It was indigo children was 60s and 70s. At least that's when it started.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
I mean, is it based on your parents? Or is it based on you growing up in that era?
I think both. I think
because like if it's our parents deeming us one child or the other, then my parents would have grown up in the 70s.
Yeah,
and would have named me an indigo child versus a crystal child later on.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if the creators of this whole thing thought that far ahead.
About that?
I'm sure someone has an answer out there.
Stupid conversation with my family about like what is a millennial? Like,
oh yeah,
it gets very specific. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it is totally Oh my gosh, yeah. Except crystal children and indigo children are supposedly equally positive, while there's a lot of negativity about boomers and
yes. Okay, boomer.
It's all positivity here with the rainbow children.
Oh yeah, love and rainbows and love and drugs
and drugs. Well,
sedating children.
A lack of drugs because they're not medicating their children who need it. Yeah, so
I definitely was not medicated.
You what?
Oh, okay. Let me clarify. I was medicated as a child for when I was sick or had a cold. I take medication for asthma. I have since I was little.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as ADHD, I was not medicated.
Oh, yeah, no.
My parents believe in medicine. I'm vaccinated. Don't you worry.
Yeah. I had to ask to go on psych drugs when I was 17. So.
Yeah. Well,
but
there's a reason I'm not in therapy currently.
Yeah.
Even though I should be.
I mean, everyone has their own journey, not to sound new agey. God damn it. Now all my, like, nice therapeutic, sayings in this context just seem new agey. Okay, let's keep motoring through this. Okay, so, crystal? Okay, yeah. Crystal children, have access to the 6th dimension. For reference, Jesus is on the 9th dimension.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And
so they didn't think about when you would be classified a rainbow child or a crystal child, but they thought about Jesus.
Yeah, they did think about Jesus, and this is out of 13 dimensions. So Jesus is on the 9th, crystal children are on the 6th, and then rainbow children, who are born of crystal children, they are on the 9th dimension with Jesus.
With Jesus. I'm assuming God is 13?
I don't know. My source didn't
specify. Who's between Jesus and God then? His mother?
I don't know. But rainbow children are said to have amazing healing powers, mastery of their emotions, and immunity against junk food.
I see.
Like, you just know the, like, parents who are creating this have kids who, like are on them all the time, like, I want to go to McDonald's. So they just, like, make this part of their thing, like, oh yeah, my kid needs junk food because they're a rainbow child. Like, now. God.
Oh my God.
And then, so we also got Blu-ray children, Starseed children.
Excuse me?
But
What?
I just stopped reading after Rainbow Children because
Blu-ray children.
I know,
sounds like
could not go on. Yeah, Blu-ray children sound like Blu-ray DVD discs.
Do they have like techno powers?
I don't know.
Are they the computer scientists of the generation?
I mean, probably. Yeah,
they're the ones at Intel fucking everything up. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
I blame the Blu-ray children.
I just had to stop at some point.
Yes.
I had to be like, this is where we change gears.
This is where I draw the line.
I would say that I could do a second episode on this, but I honestly just don't care enough to do a second episode on Blu-ray and Starseed children.
Oh my god. I want to do like a little bonus short on like Patreon or something that's like me taking a what child are you? Oh
yeah. A stupid little thing. Alright, well,
I can even do a video and you can see my face. Yeah. Is that yes?
Yeah.
I'll see if I have time to do that. Probably not. Don't get your hopes up, friends.
Yeah, okay. So do you want to hear about some responses from other groups of cultish weird people?
I want to hear what the government thought, and I don't know if you have any information on this.
Well, I have some conspiracy theorists who think that the government was involved. Will that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. So, there's this conspiracy theory that the CIA has created indigo children by researching on psychic kids. So
wait, okay, so do you think that Ira Einhorn, our topic of last week, our subject from last week, was one of these indigo children?
Oh my god. Maybe he was someone who thought that he was, and then just demonstrated what happens when you don't get a medical treatment for the things that you need treatment for.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. I
agree with that.
Yeah. I think, for me, this whole thing comes down to, well, I have a whole section about it at the end that I want to talk about what I think is really going on. But, I think it comes down to people just not wanting to accept that their kids need medical help, and that they are going to have to brave that stigma and stuff. I think it's just a lot of, yeah. But anyways, or, the conspiracy theorists could be right that the CIA has been testing on clairvoyant kids, and so by default they made these supernatural children, literally a Stranger Things scenario. That's what the conspiracy theory is.
Okay.
There's also a theory of the super psychics of China, which states that allegedly the Chinese government spends millions of dollars a year since the 1970s to identify hundreds of thousands of children with extra human function, also known as EHF. Apparently, EHF kids can visually see through their ears, nose, mouth, tongue, hands, feet, and armpits.
All right.
Yeah.
To check the temperature? Because
I don't
I'm sweating. It must be hot outside.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sweating in my armpits. My God. I'm
not totally sure where the legend created, or where the legend started, or who created the theory. If it started in China, or if it was an American thing to I don't know, talk shit about China. I don't know, but it did become popularized by authors Paul Dong and Thomas E. Raffle, I think.
Okay.
All I know is that their book was published in New York and it was published in English. So they're definitely appealing to an American audience. I don't know if that means that the theory is American or not, but anyways, that is the Super Psychics of China conspiracy. There's also...
I'm more into that. Wow.
Yeah. There's also a conspiracy of witches. Because some Christian fundamentalists think that Indigo's paranormal abilities and rebelliousness are signs that they're probably possessed by demons. Which, I mean...
Got it.
I feel like, just like historically, like that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Out of all of these responses. I don't know.
Out of the other theories?
Yeah.
I believe that one the most for some reason.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why, but I believe it more than anything else. I
think it seems like the least bizarre because it's the most familiar, maybe? I don't know.
Probably.
But I guess Pat Holliday, who is a Christian author, blames the rise of indigo children on fantasy-based media like Harry Potter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know which belief you prefer the most. Like, what...
Witches.
What theory you want to... Witches, okay.
Witches.
I'm down with that. But, like, what I think is really going on is that parents don't want to accept that their kids are neurodivergent and need medical and psychiatric support. There's actually...
Yes, okay. If we're going for a more logical...
Yeah, a more...
Okay.
Level.
Science-based reasoning. Yeah. Sure.
I mean, yeah, it's just... There were... and most of my sources did cite, like... I don't know why I didn't...
The Witch's Bible?
No. They cited, like, actual psychologists. And I don't know why I didn't track down any of those sources, but maybe I will for the Instagram extras. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so there is, like, a lot of talk among, like, psychologists and sociologists that, like, parents would rather avoid the stigma of, like, having a disabled child by saying that their kid is gifted or, like, special, and that, like, oh, it's not that my kid has ADHD and screams all the time. It's that he is a indigo child, and he's special, and he is here to like, I don't know, reform the world. When it's and like...
The only other option is that it's a changeling.
Yeah, exactly.
So your baby was stolen. Either your child is special because they have ADHD and they're angry and loud and energetic all the time.
Yeah.
Or this is not your child.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just refusing to accept the truth.
Yeah. And, of course, it's not that anything could be wrong with your child. Because if there was something wrong with your child, then maybe that means that there's something wrong with you as a parent. Which isn't, I mean, that's not...
Understandable.
Like...
But also, like, it reflects on your child, too.
Yeah, like, I would understand that fear as a child, like, oh my gosh, what have I done wrong? But also, you're gonna want to accept... Yeah, but anyways,
yeah, like, what have I done wrong as a parent? But, like, what can I do to change that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise your child's just going to continue on the same path, and you're just going to keep wondering more and more, like, what the fuck happened?
I know. Yeah.
Soon it'll be too late.
Yeah. So, and,
like Ira Einhorn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, some doctors think that this is, like, that the rise of, like, this conspiracy of indigo children is, like, directly related with the rise of kids being diagnosed with ADD and ADHD in the 70s and stuff, in the 80s. And also, like, I don't know, like, the failures of medicine and psychology to like fix a kid, right? Because I feel like a lot of the messaging that at least I get, but that I'm sure that also parents get, is that, oh, if we put your kid on this medication, everything will be fine and it'll
Right.
all go back to normal. And like when that doesn't happen, it's like, oh, well then this failed me, kind of, and like
Mhm.
what else is there to do? Like
Yeah.
the medical system is for sure fucked up in a lot of ways, and it's not going to fix anything because mental health is a long haul and it's something
Mhm.
that you have to work on. So to expect that, like, oh, if I just put my kid on this medication and he'll be back to normal, and then that doesn't happen. It's like I wouldn't understand why you would kind of feel hopeless in that situation and be like, oh, it must be something else entirely. Psychology is evil or
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah, but I also made a list of disturbing things that came up in my research.
None of that was already disturbing.
Yeah, would you like to hear my list?
Yeah.
Okay. Number one is the sheer number of online quizzes slash listicles revering indigo children as a real concept.
Okay.
Like I had to dig to find actual like critical sources of this phenomenon versus just like, oh, this is so fun, let's take a personality test. So it's like totally inundated with people who are at least accepting that this could be a reality of some sort, or at least one that doesn't need to be criticized. Even more disturbing, the depressionalliance.org has a blog post on indigo children, and it's a favorable blog post.
Okay, that's concerning.
Yeah. The depressionalliance.org is talking about indigo
That is
children.
concerning.
Yeah, I found it towards the end of when we were about to record, so I'm like almost hoping that I got something wrong or that like it was a false, the depressionalliance.org, but
yeah.
But when I checked,
boy.
it seemed like did you find it?
No.
Okay.
I'm
sorry.
thinking about it. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
We're making so many good steps forward in like Depression Alliance department, like
yeah.
Okay.
I know. Yeah. Well,
people need to be stopped.
I know. I will definitely check that out more, and if I'm wrong that it is like on a different website that is trying to pretend that it is that, I will correct myself. But from what I thought, that was, yeah. And then there was this article that I came across called The Dark Truth. They diagnosed indigo children with ADHD to stop them from evolving.
What?
And the author is Elizabeth Williams. And here is a quote from Williams. They are being fed amphetamines and methylindate. Do you know how to say that? Methylindate? It's like,
just sounds like meth.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. So they're being fed amphetamines and methylidate, stimulant and medications, stimulant and medications, including amphetamines and methylindate, e.g. Ritalin and Concerta, are often prescribed to treat children, adolescents, or adults diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, states drugabuse.gov. Amphetamine is a substance that many people tend to abuse. It is highly addictive, and it limits the mental capacities of a person, blocking out many thought processes and creativity. In other words, these children are literally drugged by the same drug that many people are highly addicted to and abuse on a daily basis. End quote. So,
okay. I have a lot to say on this. Probably too much for the podcast.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm frustrated. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Well, so I was just gonna say that this is like such circular logic, and I feel like this kind of demonstrates what the gaps in the thinking of parents who really believe this, because it's saying like, oh, since these medications can be abused, then it's bad that our children are being prescribed.
I mean, no, it absolutely is like circular thinking. It's
yeah, and also like trying to argue a statement by drugabuse.gov that is not even saying what she's saying it says.
Like, there's a difference between drug abuse and taking the drug as prescribed.
Exactly.
There's a huge difference. Like, people talk about it with steroids and, like, well, testosterone specifically.
Yeah.
Being used medically versus as a steroid. There's a huge difference between taking it recreationally for athletic enhancement, which is illegal in competition, and should therefore not be used in practice either, because you get tested right before the competition. That shit stays in your body. Versus medically needing to take hormones for whatever reason, whether you are LGBT and you're taking testosterone for hormone replacement therapy, or if you as a cisgender person do not produce enough testosterone. Yeah. Like, there's a difference between medically needing a drug or recreationally taking it and abusing it.
Exactly. And, like, she's also saying that it limits the mental capacities of a person, blocking out many thought processes and creativity. And that's just like...
But you need that to get shit done.
I know. Like, that is what it's helping give back to people. Like, it's... Yeah, I know.
Because we have too many thought processes happening.
I know. Yeah, it's... Yeah. Yeah, so I guess the story is really spooky, and that all the misinformation that's being spread around is horrifying.
Just this misinformation, and I hate misinformation.
I know, yeah. I guess what I would just say is, if you have kids with disabilities, get them treatment. Inform yourself about what the treatment actually is or does before you try to guess if it's good or bad for your child. And also just, like, don't avoid your child's disability just so you can feel better about it. Like, that's not gonna help anyone. So, I don't know. Anyways,
well,
I guess this story got really real really fast, and I will try to make it up to you next time with a... Oh, wait. Should we announce that we have a special episode coming up?
Oh, yeah, we do. We have a special double episode coming up later next week is later. Double episode, meaning me and Elle team up to tell you a story. So there's going to be some spooks, there's going to be some crime, that all link up together, and it's going to be real cool, real fun. I'm excited. I'm also excited. Okay, good. I really want to say what we're going to do, but I know I should keep it a surprise, but I just love this story so much. I know. Okay. Great. Oh, gosh. All I can say is that, listener, be real excited. Yes. Be very excited, because we're going to be really excited. And if you're not excited, then we're going to be sad. So. Something to make us happy and less frustrated, hopefully, is a dog palate cleanser. Oh, yes. Please. So this week we're going to be talking about the 18,000-year-old puppy that they found. So they found a dog or wolf / wolf puppy. Oh my god. in Russia last year that was super well preserved for some reason. Like, obviously there's science behind it, but it was preserved in permafrost.
Mm-hmm.
So like it has all its fur, it has all its teeth, whiskers,
baby.
eyelashes. Like it's like a really well preserved puppy
from
dead 18,000
puppy
years
baby.
ago. Oh. They're able to determine that it's male. Just they're not sure if it's a puppy or a wolf because like evolution, all that jazz. Like they're not sure when.
Did it like look like a dog as we know it?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
But it's a huge puppy.
Oh my gosh, a big puppy.
So like it could be like either a really large early dog, or it could be like a wolf puppy. They're not sure. Just because of like the era that it's determined to be from.
Oh my god.
So it's a really, really cute puppy. It's obviously dead, but
yeah. I gotta say, like, this is the only time I've ever been excited about a dead puppy.
Yeah. So they're on their way to completing genome sequencing to like figure out exactly what's going on with it. But
I guess they could probably like bring it back. You know, like those wild people who bring their pets. Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's like the only time I'd be like, I would be curious about. Well, I would, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if he has a name. None of the articles that I read show that mention a name.
He's
probably gonna get some scientific name later down the road.
We should submit a name to them, Cody.
Yeah.
Say, we're famous podcasters. Can we have your puppy on our podcast?
Yeah, I would definitely do that. Listeners can also submit name suggestions to I was going to say ATWD. That's not our podcast.
Oh my God,
our podcast
Cody.
is not that podcast.
We are truly revealing ourselves in this episode.
You can send name suggestions, dog pictures, and fan mail to horrorcornerpodcast@gmail.com.
Should we like let ATWWD know what we're doing? At this point, like, sorry, we're stealing everything. I mean,
sorry, we're not a podcast that cannot stop ourselves.
I know. I mean, honestly, I'm saying that secretly because I would really, really love.
Oh, I would appreciate
get an email.
Like,
oh my God.
I'm here for validation from ATWD.
Yeah.
Wow, ATWWD.
Yeah. Or from Sawbones.
I'm here for M's approval specifically.
Yeah. Also from Sawbones, in regards to my specific story this time. But
oh my God, yes.
Cindy
if we can get
McElroy,
Dr. Cindy on the show, like I would probably scream.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't wait until we're famous. Wow. Okay.
Oh man. In the meantime, though, you can email us at horrorcornerpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Horror Corner Podcast.
Don't forget to address your pictures of goats to me specifically.
Yes, in the subject
Cody
line.
hates animals.
I don't hate animals. I just really prefer dogs over everything else.
Okay. If that's what you want to call it, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, you can send whatever you want to that email. Just make sure to label it clearly so we can properly divide the inbox.
Yes.
And, yeah, make sure that you're subscribed to our channel on YouTube so that you can make sure to get that you can hit that bell button to get notified for all of our episodes coming. Also leave a comment down below. That's the only way we can get reviews right now besides email, and we would really love it if you leave a comment.
Yes.
Because
also,
it's just
Patreon,
kind of our preferred method of reviewing.
We would love to be on iTunes too. Help us get onto iTunes with Patreon.
Also, feel free to start a discussion down below about Indigo and Rainbow Children. In the comments.
Only if it's informed and not perpetuating misinformation. Although I know asking YouTube commenters to do that is asking a lot. Anyways,
we love discussion. We'll jump down there at some point. If there's any comments, we'll jump down there and try to respond to any that we think are relevant to the topic,
Yeah.
drop a like on the episode so that we know that you listened to it all the way through.
Yeah.
And that is all that I have.
Well, I am Elle.
I'm Cody.
Thanks so much for listening. That's going to do it for us today. We'll see you, or you will hear from us next Monday. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.